And here we go. Welcome back, everybody, to JJZ Starcraft. Thank you for joining me today. We have, once again, on Metropolis, Artosis in the top right corner. He is facing off against a 2200 MMR Protoss player, CheeTech. Now, CheeTech has hit the S rank on one of his accounts. He's got 3. They're all in the same range, or about 2200 MMR, and he's got a bunch of games on the ladder, so I think this is going to be a good game. I don't know the results, guys. I do know, you're going to know this anyways, but I do know that it was a longer game, which is exactly what I was hoping for, because if you follow the channel, and if you don't, please do. I much appreciate it. Click that subscribe. But if you do follow the channel, you might have seen a game from about a week ago, from the day this video will be released, where Artosis played Pro Gamer Light, and Light was playing his off-race Protoss, and they happened to play on Metropolis. And not only that, but if you remember that game, Artosis had exactly the same spawn. So did Light. So they were cross-spawn, and we saw Light go into Arbiter there. So knowing that this was a longer game, I thought, hey, maybe we'll get a chance to see Artosis play against an A-rank Protoss, you know, low S rank, high A rank Protoss, and see how he fares against that. So we do have Gateway first from the Protoss player, so he's not going to expand. He's got an early scout out as we follow this probe around. And yeah, so I thought it would be interesting to see what that playstyle looks like, because if you watch that game, Light just moved his army masterfully, and you know, even though it was his off race, his macro and his micro were just on a pro gamer level, right? And that's just not realistic for most of us as Artosis gets into his gas. And I think he loves this build against Protoss, is he's going to get into gas and he's going to go factory expand, is my guess here. And for good reason. I've said it before, but it is a good build. He did do that again in the light game as well, if I recall correctly. And I'm trying to remember if Light went Nexus first, as CheeTech gets his Nexus up. So we are on one gateway into Nexus, and he is going to find Artosis here with the probe. One Marine coming. Artosis does like to, that factory goes down right at 229, 230 once again. And we might get a little damage on this probe. He's going to sneak in and try and get... Yeah, no, he's just going to run away and save it. That's probably a good move. So the Marine will probably hold here. Artosis getting his scout in, seeing the gas timing. And getting chased by a zealot. A probe. He's been good at this, getting good scouts in early when he does find his opponent. So nice to see everything that Protoss is doing as the cybernetics core goes down. And Artosis again on that 230 factory very consistently, which I do love to see. He's only making one Marine here, so he sees that there's a zealot out, but it's not coming. So when you know that, he can skimp on the Marines a little bit. This zealot is just chasing his SCV around. Oh, is he going to lose it? Yeah, he's going to lose it there. That's okay. Busy doing other things in his base. As he does go into that expand, into his natural, we're going to look, and did he even make a vulture? No, he just went right into the add-on, and he's going to build a bunker just in case those zealots decide to walk across, or the zealot decides to walk across the map. That is going to give him some additional safety as the goons come out, and he waits to see what his opponent decides to do. 2 zealots out, we've got spider mines on the way, we've got a vulture on the way, and another Marine out. So his second Marine took a little bit of damage from the probe, the first one. And that's always a good move as Protoss. If you're going to lose your probe, if you can get a little bit of damage on those Marines, it can go a long ways in a slightly, you know, it takes away the life of those Marines. They die really quickly when they have damage on them to the goon shots. If they're full health, they can actually tank a little bit for your first siege tank or 2 and your vultures. As Artosis does get this vulture, sneaks this vulture around. See, he went this way. He just doesn't want to be seen. He wants to leave this. I suspect he'll stick him outside the base maybe and lay some mines and then wait to see if there's a move out from the Protoss army. Yeah, he puts it right in this base here. He's going to hide him up here just in case he can sneak into that natural, or maybe even the main, and get some damage, get some free probe kills. Always a good move for Terran. You got to try and slow these Protoss players down. They You can see CheeTech is ahead on probe count already by a couple. Even though Artosis did take that early factory expand, Protoss just gets to keep making those probes nonstop. They do have the best worker in the game, guys, where they can build their entire base with one worker and they don't have to sit there and construct the buildings or lose a probe like Zerg do with their drones. A couple Dragoons out, a couple Zealots. Nobody really moving out onto the map right now, other than these vultures that are just laying some mines for visibility. And Artosis has a habit of this now. We've seen a few games of him on this map specifically in this layout where he likes to put certain mines in certain places, and I can't fault him. Those are great mines. He sees both expands, so he's going to know when Protoss has observers out and which base he may be looking to take next. And he's going to see any movement from the army is going to come out. Even if he does clear this mine, he's going to know that the army is on the move. And here come the vultures with speed. They're going to try and sneak past. They're going to get by, and the Zealot's going to, yeah, he gets all three of them by. Two of them by, sorry, but he's going to get some probes here. Let's see how many. 1, 2, 3 probes. And that's going to be it as the Druids come and clear this. But he does get some lost mining time. He's going to send most of them down to his natural. He's going to send some back, I imagine. But he gets 3 probes there, and as you can see, takes the lead in worker count. And that's big. That's a big deal, guys. You'll trade 3 vultures for 3 probes all day long at this stage of the game. Observers are out for CheeTech, and he does move out onto the map with 4 Dragoons. He's going to look to clear some mines. And let's take a look at what is going on with Artosis. He moves up to 3 factory. He's got an armory out up here at the top with +1 attack on the way. So he is going to start making tanks here with 2 add-ons, and he's got both gas on the way, or sorry, both gas finished, and he's going to be able to fully produce tanks at a good rate here. So we have the Protoss army now moving to sit outside the Terran base. And if you remember in that game against Light, as he clears some mines here, Artosis did take this base at around the 10-minute mark. We'll see if he, as we get into 7.5 minutes into this game here, we'll see if he decides to play a similar style. And there was a comment in that game where for some improvement is that Artosis could have moved this barracks from here down into this area where, it would slow the push from Light. It would tank some damage and just slow things down a little bit, plus give Artosis a little bit more visibility to see when that army first starts coming up and moving to the left. So we'll see if he makes any adjustments here and how he adjusts his turrets. We do have this hidden, once again, exactly the same. Okay, so he's going into Arbiter, so that's fantastic. We're going to see another Arbiter game. I'm very curious to see how this goes for Artosis, what adjustments he makes, how much of a difference in skill levels we're going to see from CheeTech and Light, and I imagine there will be a difference. I can already kind of tell he doesn't quite have the same mobility on the map as we saw from Light. I do like this. He's deciding to take this base as his third. Trying to remember, Light did the same thing. Yeah, he took this as a third and then this as a fourth. So that's pretty standard on this map for Protoss. This one is just easier to defend. You can rally your units up here and kind of defend both these chokes, especially as Protoss, where you get that pylon wall up. Back to Artosis' base, he is macroing up the tanks. Nice little Dragoon here just to slow that base takedown. Yeah, he's going to get some damage on these 2 SCVs. Artosis pushing out with turrets. He moves some Dragoons up, but they're going to get smashed. He got 1 tank there. So 2 Dragoons for a tank. Not terrible, I suppose. And he's got 5 up here just trying to... And Artosis does move the barracks down. So I like this adjustment already. He's got the engineering bay here. He's not going to need either of those buildings from this point on. And Artosis, he did the same thing. He's right around the same time. He pushed into missile turrets. He built a turret. He's going to get this observer out, which also I really like to see. CheeTech actually catches that and is going to move him aside. If you remember, Light kept an observer in this base on that game, basically the whole game. And he had observers here, observer here, and he just saw everything. So CheeTech in a very similar position right now. He's got good visibility on the map. He's got his third going. And moving his Dragoons back. It would be interesting if he got caught with one of those mines, but I don't think he's going to, as he moves off to the right and towards the center of the map. Artosis, we've got 4 factories up with 2 add-ons. Gonna look, oh sorry, 5, there's a 5th up there, so that's good. He's got a 5 factory. With light, I believe he went 6 factory. By this stage he had 6, so we'll see if he decides to go up to 8 or 9 factories here once this 3rd base is up. And you know, similar timing, a little bit earlier, which I like to see with Artosis there. There hasn't been much pressure from CheeTech, so you know, he's going to know that CheeTech's taking a 3rd base at this stage as we get our first Arbiter out. And we have recall and +1 on the way. I believe it's +1. Yes, +1 on the way. Artosis, he has +1 attack and has his armor on the way. So we'll see when he decides to, here's the 6th factory. We'll see when Artosis decides to move into that starport and continue with his upgrades. I think that we saw that in another Protoss game where Artosis just simply out-upgraded his Protoss opponent. He sat at 3-2 upgrades and just was... The Terran upgrades scale so well on mech, guys. It's almost unfair. Protoss has the worst scaling of the units, especially with their shields. They're expensive, and shields take full damage from every damage type. So they're just not as valuable. They don't scale up quite as well as the Terran siege tanks. You can see you can get up to +15 damage on each siege tank when they're sieged up. I like this adjustment too. Artosis doesn't have all of his tanks sieged up. I think last game against Light he got caught with them all sieged up in this area, and it just slows you down when you have to unsiege everything. And we know, if you remember that game, without spoiling too much, Light came in around this side and Artosis just a little bit out of position. So this time I like this. He hasn't pushed out here to defend this. He's got his wall up, and he'll be able to quickly mobilize this army and move in to support this base if necessary. So where is that Arbiter hiding? Here it is. Okay, so we're gonna watch. He's gonna take a different tactic here, CheeTech. He's got this Arbiter out here. Artosis has 2, 4, 6 missile turrets, so great defense here. With the engineering bay, he's going to see some of this, so I'm not sure here if he hugs the side, if this turret is going to hit him. If it doesn't, he'll be able to sneak this Arbiter past and at least recall up into here, and he may just keep going. Here we go. Looks like it's going to move. We're going to try and catch this. As I think he's getting ready to move because he is taking his 4th base, and it's a great time to expand and attack. And here comes the first Arbiter. He's got enough energy for recall. And Artosis knows about this. He must have caught it with the engineering bay because he's moving his army back here. And if he can get these 3 Goliaths up there, he might even be able to pick the Arbiter. So let's see what CheeTech decides to do here. Some scans going down. I'm not sure where exactly. Maybe this Vulture caught it. Either the engineering bay, he might have moved it too close, or this Vulture would have caught it. But kudos to Artosis. He did see it, and he's got a wall of turrets going up. So he doesn't want any part of this Arbiter recall, and here it comes. Oh, he gets it off. Man, Arbiters are crazy. So Artosis thought he was safe, and he moved his army out. He got the recall off just barely before the Arbiter died. And recall is one of those spells, guys, that is a bit broken. Once it's cast, even if the Arbiter dies, if you're over some land, it will recall the units, and we kind of saw that there. Clears the turrets and moves into the base. He's going to get some damage done. He's going to get some supply depots, a little bit of tanks, but really Artosis handled this quite well, given I think he thought he was safe. And with all those turrets and the 2 Goliaths up there, moved his army out. But really not a ton of damage there from CheeTech on his first recall. And that first recall can be really important to get some damage in. And we have another Arbiter out. He's got 140 energy, and what is going on here at CheeTech's base? We've got 3 gateways plus 2, 4, 6, 8, so we've got 11 gateways, 2 Arbiters out, a 3rd making. Still got good visibility. I'd like to see Artosis clear these. See if he picks it. Okay, here comes an attack on the front here this time. Gonna need to scan because it doesn't have a turret up there, and I think CheeTech is gonna run into problems here with the 1-1 upgraded mech army versus the +1 attack Protoss army. He runs out of zealots really quickly there and wisely backs up. You don't want to lose these dragoons, guys. They would have gone splat really quickly had he continued that push. So a good move to back up there. He's got to continue macroing here. He is, it looks like, High Templars coming on the way, and he looks like he's gone up to 3 forge, so that's cool to see, and he's going to try and catch up and maybe even surpass these upgrades. He's upgrading everything as those upgrades just finish, +2 finishes, armor on the way. Oh, sorry, maybe he only has 2 forge. That's my mistake. No shields yet. Protoss moving across the map nicely. Artosis moving into his units into the middle of the map, looking to make a push here. And it looks quite strong. He can get a good siege. Yeah, okay, I like this. He's got about 2 groups of vultures, and he's got about 4 vultures, or sorry, 4 Goliaths, and 2 groups of vultures, and a full group of tanks. So good size army here. Artosis is going to take the middle. I like this. We did not see this against Light. He never had an option or an opportunity to push out quite like this. So 2 turrets going up. Protoss going to try and clear this wisely. You don't want to let Terran anchor up here. As he rallies more units down, I think Artosis is gonna hold this push. Good size storm there. That could make the difference. Another 2 going down. And Protoss going to back out again, save his Dragoons. I think that's a good move. A great status up here to lock those tanks down. And still wise to push out there, though, I think. Or to pull out. I think that he was going to lose the rest of his army had he stayed. So Artosis holding the center. Doing a good job macroing at home. How many factories are we at here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 factories on 3 bases. Nothing wrong with that. I'd like to see him think about making his 4th here. Last game, I think he made a command center here to push down as he holds the center. Protoss maneuvering their army around the center, looking for some damage, looking for anywhere to poke into. We can see he did take his 5th down here, and I think if Artosis finds this, he's going to smash it. And he is going to push some tanks and vultures down and just try and take this out. So his siege is up, and the vultures are here. He's got some good mines out front. He's not, yeah, he's going to lay a few mines here. You don't want to catch a mine drag. He could see a recall over here. That might be a nice move, but he is going to decide to push into the center. And these, yeah, it's going to be interesting if he can clear this. The Zealots with legs, they've now got 2-1 upgrades. Nice size storm there, and he is going to have enough to clear the center this time. So Artosis is going to have to lift his command center. Maybe not, actually. He's going to bring his vultures back, and Terran is going to clear this out. So nice attempt there by CheeTech, but Artosis is able to bring his vultures back that were planted here and save the space. So the one thing about this mining from this base, guys, is if Protoss can get a size storm off men, he can just kill a ton of SCVs, because these are stacked mineral patches, 1,000 minerals each. And I think, don't quote me on this, but I think there's maybe 5 to 7 somewhere in there. If you know that, leave a comment, let me know. I don't know how many. I know I've heard Artosis say it in his cast once upon a time, but it's been a while. Let's keep an eye on this Arbiter here, see if he's going to try and recall into this base. That's always a really nice move from Protoss. The Vulture is going to see it, however, so see if Artosis pushes anything up here. He's got 3 siege tanks, a Goliath, and a Vulture, putting up a couple more turrets. Does have a large group of units here he should be able to bring up, but here it comes. Recalls right into the 3rd base. Great recall there. He's going to clear these tanks, and I think he's likely going to get at least a lift on this Nexus. Artosis will clear this, though, and he did get a number of SCVs out, so it's not going to be an issue to clear. A bit of a pain, but with this 4th base in the center mining, it's not the end of the world. He is running out of minerals on both his main and his natural, so he does need to get this mining again. You can't fight on 1 base, guys. You do need to have 2 bases going at this stage of the game to continue production as a Terran or Protoss, at least 2. A lot of SCVs now down here, so if CheeTech can find a way to get in here and get some storms down, we'll see that number decimated from 47. And here comes a recall, another recall on this base. Okay, it's mostly Dragoons, about 5 Zealots in there. not going to get the damage done that he's quite looking for. We do see some SCVs go down. I think he only lost 3 there, though, so not the most efficient recall there. And Protoss Army, 2 more Arbiters out, some Zealots, a group of Zealots it looks like, and a half group of Dragoons roughly. We do see Artosis did clear this base, which is not a surprise. There was too many things, too many places for CheeTech to be covering at once, and this was a bit ambitious, this base anyways, at that stage. CheeTech looking to establish another base up here as we maneuver the armies, trying to battle for the center. CheeTech going to move up, but I don't think this is going to go well. Artosis needs to get a scan down. You can see those Arbiters. Oh yeah, great status there. Gets a bunch of vultures and some tanks, at least 1 tank. And he did more damage there than he probably should have. Artosis was a bit late with the scan. And he's pushing into a 6th base for Artosis, so I like to see this, although I think it's going to get stalled by this Protoss army. No way to really save it. I like the idea, though, from Artosis is let's expand again. Take the map. You got to take your half of the map if Protoss is going to establish up here in this left corner. We've got a great game here, guys. Artosis definitely handling the recalls a lot better than the last game, and you can see the level difference, though, right? You can see that, yeah, this is a good game. These guys are well matched. He's going to try and go for another recall in the main here, but I think Artosis just has, oh, not quite. Man, those recalls, those Arbiters are so tanky. You can just, but he only has 2 units that came, so this could have been a lot more deadly than it ended up being. So I don't know if he missed his recall or he just didn't have the units to recall, but Artosis getting a bit lucky there, a bit fortunate. Oh, sorry, 2 Dragoons and 2 Zealots that he was able to recall. Artosis now going to push, counterattack. I love this. He's going to clear this out. There's just not enough up here. I don't even see an Arbiter coming for a potential recall or reinforcements, so he's going to clear these 2 Nexuses unless I'm missing a big army of Protoss somewhere. But Artosis taking over here in supply as well. He's at 157 to 128. Clears the 1 Nexus. He's going to leave just a few Vultures and a tank, and he's going to push into this 4th base. And I think he's going to get it. Artosis looking great here with the stayed on 1-1 upgrades this game, so Protoss actually has out-upgraded him, but he hasn't needed it. Here's the Protoss army. It's not overly scary. There's just not quite enough units there. Only a handful of Zealots and Dragoons. Here comes some reinforcements. CheeTech does try to take this bottom base, kind of a last-ditch effort. Artosis clearing both this 3rd and top left corner without an issue, and I think that this game has probably gotten away from CheeTech. He is only mining 1 base currently, his 4th base, and it's getting low, so if he can't hold this one, maybe he's holding out hope that he'll be able to hold this. His army protecting it out front here. Artosis likely going to find that or already knows about it. These Dragoons are going to get crushed. They're surrounded. If they can escape, that would be, yes, just pull them back. Don't go into the middle. Right now you don't have enough. He's got 4 more up here, trying to stop Artosis from quickly taking this base. However, I think we're going to see him just move across. And I would like to see SCVs going here, even though this game I think is well in hand for Artosis. Definitely a big edge here as he moves towards a full supply of units. We do have that starport and science facility up as he works on 2-2 upgrades, but they're a ways away. Nice status going down on 4 tanks and a Goliath, 5 tanks and a Goliath, and this is kind of going to be CheeTech's last-ditch effort because this is all he has left. He's sending probes across. He's got about a full group of Zealots. And he's got about a full group. He brings these guys down. A full group of Zealots and a full group of Dragoons. But I don't think it's enough. Even with, he's got really nice upgrades. 3-2 upgrades for CheeTech. I do like that. But I don't think he's quite got enough to push this and actually clear it. Which is what he really needs to do in order to take some of this map control back. We are seeing Artosis' army come in and just push that Protoss army back. He doesn't even get some reinforcements coming up, but you know, he's going to run and he's going to recalibrate down here at his last coal mining base. So he is back up to 2 base with this one, almost out of resources here, so really not going to be on 2 base for much longer. Artosis with likely a final push here that we could see the end of CheeTech right here as he gets planted and sieges up. Oh, he's going to get him from both sides. He's got some reinforcements coming, but you can see the number of units coming is he's not able to produce off this 1.5 base mining the way that he was earlier in the game. So Artosis looks like he's going to clear the army and be able to push down and up the ramp into this final full mining base here. He does take the top left as well. I'd love to see that. You might as well. Looking really good. More upgrades coming. CheeTech with the good game, and that will do it. So we saw Artosis just, some minor adjustments from that game against Light, where he held his army a little closer to here. He knew recall was coming. He didn't know where it was coming at that time, but he kept his army here so he could scoot it around here, which he did. Ironically, I think he ended up thinking he had enough to defend that first recall here, and he did have a ton. He had like 8 turrets and a couple Goliaths, and the Arbiter still was able to get a single Arbiter still able to get a recall off. But he was able to shift his units down there and take minimal losses. And then just really, there was the recall up here that he dealt with really well. So, once he got going and macroing, he didn't really have an issue. Clearly a level difference between Light and CheeTech, but CheeTech's still a very good player. Macroed well enough, teched up to Arbiter, and we are seeing a ton of Arbiter games in the meta right now. So kind of fun to see. Thank you guys for joining me. I hope your winter break is going great, and I look forward to doing this again for you tomorrow. Enjoy, everyone.